was coaching up. So let's bring it up on the line. And here is Scotty report on what went down. By the way, Papa Shasky kicked your ass yesterday.
He did.
He kicked your ass.
I played like poop.
I mean, he destroyed you yesterday.
Yeah, he did. I'll give it to him. He was.
Papa Shasky, what's happening? Papa Shasky,
I got mine handed to me yesterday.
Hey, good morning, fellas. Hey, look, I just wanted to chime in. First of all, I wanted to thank Matt Nahegan for letting me join you guys yesterday. That was fantastic. I met the nice guy, Ryan Whitney. She was great coming around with us. I do want to give a shout-out to Bill on the fourth hole with the sign for you guys. That was phenomenal. Dave was just fantastic. Rode around with us, helped us out. And the classic moment of the day was we were on the eighth hole, the par 5, and Bonte hits the best ball he hit all day. Air mails it over the green, and Matt sticks his finger up like home run. That was freaking classic. That was absolutely classic. We had a great time, guys. Thanks for letting me join you guys. The weather was just held up perfect. It was a beautiful day, and it was a great time to be had by everybody.
No, it was great up there at the Berkeley Country Club. The scenery, the hot dogs. I mean, it was all in popping. It was a great time with it. Now, when
ask
we talk
him
about
the Niner question.
Yeah, the 49er question. Well, is this a no excuse season? And Killian in the Chronicle has a headline. Look, the Brock Purdy update. The Brock Purdy update seals it. The 49ers have no excuses in this Super Bowl quest. How do you feel, Papa Shasky, about entering this season, a new journey, some new dreams here about the 49ers in 2023? It feels like everything has gone right for them except that one thing. That one thing missing is a Lombardi Trophy. So is this a no-excuse season?
Well, I think if you're in the head coach position and you now have on your staff 3 eligible quarterbacks that can get you to the emphasis of winning a Super Bowl, I mean, he's got to be thinking, this has got to be our year, right? Because, everything went wrong last year. Everybody getting hurt, one after another. Now you've got 3 capable, good quarterbacks that can take you there. Now, if you're a head coach, that's a dream to have, right? So now just how does he play those cards, right? Who's he start? Who's he not play? Maybe it's one of those times where, Trance gets a run one game, then maybe Brock gets the next game, depending on who's got the hot hand. I mean, I can't say right now. I'd like to see Brock do his thing. I'd like to see Trey get a chance. So
you want to see Trey get a chance?
I do.
Wow, that's interesting.
Trey get a chance. I mean, you pay all that money, you give away a lot of draft choices for him to play. I'd like to see him not run as much so he doesn't get the chance to get hurt, because he's not like he's who's the quarterback for the Ravens? He's not.
Yeah, he's not Lamar
Jackson. Yeah,
he's not that. I think Kyle thought he was that kind of a player, but he's not that kind of player, right? And he's developing, and let's see what he's got. I mean, you've got 2 great quarterbacks. I think it's a win-win for this team this year. I really do.
Well, what about McCaffrey? That was your guy. I mean, before he even came to the Niners, you always either swooped him up in fantasy or were monitoring and trying to trade for him. What'd you think of McCaffrey last year?
Oh my God, that was the best pickup that the 49ers have had, and since they picked up Fred Dean way back in the day. Are you kidding me? I mean, and then you look at that guy. Is he yoked or what, man? You look at him in a T-shirt. I mean, just talking about a little guy. He doesn't go down. I mean, he's got that ball wrapped up. He doesn't take a good hit. If you ever watch, he never takes a good hit. He always avoids getting hit hard. For a little guy like that, I mean, he puts the heat on some guys. I think he's the best player 49ers got right now.
I'm kind of with you on that. Any worry about Nick Bosa getting a contract extension?
No, if you heard, you were listening yesterday on the way over, Joe, and they're talking about they're going to get this thing done. They're going to get it done. Even Carl said he's not going to practice until he gets this thing done. They're going to get. How can you not get this done? Right?
Yeah, seriously.
The player in the league. How could you not get this done? Right? You're gonna. I mean, it's just now they've got another guy on the other side that's going to help them. I mean, that's another win-win for this team.
And they've got a track record of getting this done. They've got done with Fred Warner Jr., George Kittle, Deebo Samuel. They've extended Drake Greenlaw. They've done it with Trent Williams. They have a track record of getting these massive deals done. You got to credit Jed York for that. Real quick, before we get you out of here, I got to sneak in a baseball question.
Oh, yeah.
Marco Luciano just got called up. Does that excite you?
Well, it was nice to see him get a win last night. What on 4 hits? I mean, you're playing the A's, the lowly A's. I mean, always been our arch rival. I just, this Giants team is an enigma this year. They're going to win 5 games, they're going to lose 5 games. They win 7 games, they lose 7 games. I like to see them do a little better down the stretch here. Maybe get
so that's a no. Luciano doesn't do it for you.
I don't know. We'll see. I haven't watched enough of the A ball or AAA ball to see what do. We'll see. I mean, we had the high hopes, Joe, when Schmidt came up.
I know.
He's kind of fallen off to the way. I mean, great defensive player, but, we got to get a little more at bat at him.
He cannot lay off the low and away breaking ball. God bless him.
He looks so lost in the batter's box right now. So lost.
They might have to change his approach to his batting stance. He just does. He looks like too much of a free swinger, right? So I think they might have to, with their hitting coach, might have to change a little something there.
Yeah.
All right. Biggest concern for the 49ers heading into the season, Papa Shasky. Biggest concern for you?
Well, obviously, the elephant in the room is the offensive line, all right? I mean, you think that they would, go out, maybe pick up one more good, offensive line that they can move around a little bit and they can play multiple positions. I think that's going to be the key to keeping a quarterback safe this year. Got to have offensive line. If you don't have offensive line, you don't have a quarterback.
No doubt about that, Papa Shasky.
Love you,
so
Pops.
fun to see you yesterday.
All right, guys. Thank you yesterday. That was a phenomenal day. The view up there, the weather just cooperated immensely. It was
unreal.
A fantastic day. All was had by fun. Everybody had a great time yesterday.
Everybody had a great time, and you destroyed JoJo on the course. You destroyed him. He was rattled, man. He could do anything. Irons, driver. He was awful.
Terrible.
Well, I think he had a lot going on. I mean, you're talking with the fan. Chris and Matt were great guys to play with. That was a lot of fun.
They were.
There was no pressure with those guys. There was a lot. And again, shout out to Bill on fourth hole. Shout out to Dave, the pro up there at the Berkeley Country Club. That was phenomenal.
And Whitley out there getting all the content. Whitley was out there. She was driving the cart around, hanging out with us as well.
You got some recommendations for Europe. We'll talk to you soon.
Gave me the place to go have pizza in Naples, so that was fantastic.
Yep. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, Papa Shasky going to Italy.
Not Naples in Mission, in the Excelsior. We're talking about Naples in Europe.
Yeah, he's going to the boot. He's going to the boot. He's going to do the island of Capri. He's going to go on the boat. I mean, he's living. Tell you, everybody's going to Italy now.
Bro, everyone but me.
Extravaganza. Everybody but you. You won't leave San Rafael. This guy's going to Europe, Greece, everything, man.
I know we're going to get Sam Wyche in here, and he did an interview. Steve Wyche, excuse me. Sam Wyche was the
former Bengals coach, former quarterback coach.
Yeah, former 49er guy.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I think one of the number one questions that I have for him, because he sat down with Kyle Shanahan and they had a great little conversation. When was that conversation? When did that? Was that before Brock was throwing this week? Was that before that they found out he was cleared and good to go? I think the timing of that conversation, with Kyle Shanahan, to me is very relevant.
Very relevant. But then Shanahan and Lynch come out yesterday and said Brock's a full go. And he's going to be the leader in the clubhouse. So we'll get Steve Wyche on in a second at Wyche89 on Twitter. He's been with the NFL Network since 2008. You catch him on NFL Total Access, NFL Game Day Morning. He's with the Cowboys today down in Oxford, California. The Cowboys, Jerry Jones. They were talking yesterday. They're filling themselves right now. But we're up here in training camp for the start of 49ers training camp here in Santa Clara. So let's bring in Steve Wyche on to the Morning Roast here on 95.7 The Game Again. He's been with the network, NFL Network, since 2008. Does a phenomenal job. One of the best journalists out here in the country. Really, really good here. So we'll start off, Steve. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us today. And let's just start with Brock Purdy. We got the news yesterday that he's a full go for training camp, which surprised us all here, surprised everybody. Now, when did you have to sit down with Kyle Shanahan? Because we've been running wild with that sound where he said we had 3 quarterbacks and nothing is set in stone. When was that sit down? When did that sit down take place, Steve?
Yeah, that took place at the annual owners meeting, the league meeting in April, I believe. And Kyle said what he said, but I mean the main thing he basically told me in that interview is if Brock Purdy's healthy, he's the guy because he's done it in games, right? Not saying he's more talented than Trey Lance or whatever, but his body of work in games and the trust he established with the coaching staff and his teammates would be the ultimate weight to tip the scale if all things were equal coming into training camp.
Wow. So from what you saw from Brock Purdy last year, because he took this league by storm, he shocked us all here in the Bay Area. How confident are you? Because you know the quarterback position well, you know this league well. How confident, Steve, are you in that Brock Purdy can pick up where he left off last season with the Niners?
Yeah, I mean, as long as he's completely healthy, I'm confident. I mean, everyone likes to talk about what he did in the 5 starts in the playoffs. I think about that Miami game when he was the number 3 guy. He comes in, and they don't miss a beat. And then all of a sudden you see George Kittle's numbers go up. You see Brandon Ayuk's numbers go up. So he's playing within the structure of the offense, but he's also making plays happen when he has to improvise. And the fact that he had that much poise under that much pressure right out of the gate just showed me, like, this guy's built for this.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, his body of work last year was unbelievable. So where does that leave the other 2 guys, Trey Lance and Sam Darnold? It feels like, Trey may be fighting for his 49er life. Feels like Sam Darnold's kind of fighting for his NFL life. How does this thing shake out behind Brock Purdy?
Yeah, I mean, let's go Sam Darnold first. He's probably going to be one of these guys who will bounce around for a couple of years with teams as a backup. I mean, that's probably how he's viewed right now. But in terms of Trey Lance, that's the big question mark, because there's no doubt he's an incredibly talented player who just has not had the opportunity because of injury last year to showcase himself when it matters most. And so, this might be a situation where, hey, he comes out, plays great in preseason, generates a little bit of trade interest in the Niners, maybe gets back a late-round draft pick at some point for him to trade him. I don't see them trading him this year because, as we know, if you're a Niners quarterback, being the backup ain't a bad thing to be because of the injury history that happens there. So,
yeah,
Trey Lance has got to. This is where he's got to be the ultimate pro, and by saying that, I mean he's got to keep himself sharp because odds are he's going to get an opportunity to play this year again, based on the history that we've seen with Niners quarterbacks over the past 5 or 6 years.
I think you and I are in lockstep on this one. He's in a good spot here, and then you're going to get chances to earn, playing time and opportunities, because it just happens. That's how life works itself out. You got to make the most of those. So you see no benefit for the 49ers of either moving him now or moving off of his money now to free up. I think they can only free up a couple million this year and a couple million next year, because a lot of people are trying to make a move now. You got to make a move now. You see no benefit in making a move now on Trey Lance?
No, not at all. I mean, first off, his money is quite affordable when you look at these, these quarterback contracts. So, I mean, the money, what they would gain, I just don't see why. And again, I mean, if Brock Purdy goes down, he's not rock solid hurt, right? He's got no limitations. They're not throwing him every 4th practice or something like that, whatever it was. I mean, there's still a potential there. So, no, you stay him, you continue, you keep him, you continue to groom him, you continue to coach him up. And maybe next year, if there's an opportunity, you move him if Brock Purdy establishes himself fully this season. But just right now, what you would get back in return would probably be a 6th or 7th round pick. I just don't see any reason why you wouldn't hang on to him, knowing that he's still moldable clay.
Yeah, no doubt, Steve. Steve Wyche here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game, NFL Network, Wyche89 on Twitter. And that's fascinating to me. And I'm with you, Steve, on just it doesn't feel like it's worth the price of late round pick when you think about the compensation they gave up to go get Trey Lance. Do you feel like if the 49ers had to do it all over again at the number 3 spot and moving up, do you feel like Trey Lance is still their guy? Are they a little surprised by what they got into it? Because we heard all the rumblings last year. Well, then they thought he was more Lamar Jackson, and he's not really that. And I'm thinking, well, that's on the scouting department if you couldn't figure that out when he was at North Dakota State. So do you think the Niners, they could go back in time, would they do it all over again? Would they go to Mac Jones route? Would they go to Justin Fields route, Steve?
I mean, hindsight in this case, I think, is unfair, because think about this time last year, fellas. Who was the Niners starting quarterback?
Trey Lance.
Yeah. It was Trey Lance. So, no, I mean, he was their guy. He happened to get hurt. And then Brock Purdy came in and Wally picked him. It's no more than that. This situation with Brock Purdy, to me, isn't a case of what Trey Lance isn't.
Yeah.
It's a case of what Brock Purdy turned out to be when he got his untimely opportunity. Again, Trey Lance was going to be the Niners starting quarterback, and who knows if he stayed healthy, if he couldn't have done more than Brock Purdy. We don't know that. But Brock Purdy came in, he played within a structure, he gained the trust of the head coach and his teammates, and when push comes to shove in this league, when you've got 17 games for everybody to earn their livelihood, when somebody establishes trust at that position, that's clearly who the Niners want to rock with.
Yeah. Are you shocked as I am? Because I'm pretty shocked. I mean, I know there's a lot of different timetables out there for Brock's return. I am a little, I'm legitimately shocked that he is this healthy, this quick. I mean, it's a marvel of modern science and his own testitude and his genetic makeup to be ready this quick. Am I crazy to be this surprised?
The last part of what you said, his genetic makeup. I mean, for me, covering sports now, I'm more than 30 years in, covered NBA, a lot of different sports. I can never be surprised at how quickly or how long it takes different people, because, I mean, the one thing I've learned is just guys are built differently, right? Whereas it might take somebody else who's maybe, I'm getting a little in the weeds here, may have a longer elbow to wrist proportion. Maybe it takes them another 2 months to heal. Maybe just the way he's proportioned and everything else about him, especially being young, it's you can't be surprised. I mean, look what Adrian Peterson did when he came back from the ACL, and next thing you know, he came back quickly, next yards. I mean, it's just amazing how some people are put together and what they can do.
Steve, you're down there in Oxnard, California, covering the Cowboys as they begin their training camp, and they have a lot of expectations. Are they one of the three teams in the NFC that has a legit argument to say, hey, we're going to represent the NFC at the Super Bowl? Is this the year for the Cowboys with what they did in the offseason, bringing in Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore at cornerback? Is this the year they finally break through to the NFC title game for the first time since 1995?
We'll see. I mean, I'm not that hot take guy. There's a lot of teams we think every year like they're going to be a shoo-in and have that injury. They have something, and no, they're not. And then there's also a team that comes out of nowhere. I mean, look, I'm on record saying this. I don't think Seattle is going anywhere. I think Seattle's going to be a problem for teams in the NFC, especially, again, because we've had this quarterback and talent shift over to the AFC. Some team that we're not thinking about is going to come out of nowhere. Is it Detroit? Does Minnesota all of a sudden figure things out now that Brian Flores is their defensive coordinator? So Dallas should be very, very good. I mean, their defense is going to be right there with the Niners as one of the best defenses in the NFL. But the rest of it, man, we'll see. I mean, they should be good, just like Philadelphia should be good.
Right.
But let's not overlook the fact that Philadelphia had a lot of people leave from the middle of that defense, including Javon Hargrave, who should really help out the 49ers.
Absolutely. You referenced Javon Hargrave, a defensive line player. You're talking about Dallas's defense. We watched him up close and personal last year here at Levi Stadium in the playoffs, and Parsons was unbelievable. I mean, he was everywhere in that game. And I'm thinking about Nick Bosa, and I'm thinking about the contract that he's hopefully going to get here. I have no reservations about him getting the contract. I feel like they'll get the job done. But should I be worried? Is there any rumors or anything that you're hearing that maybe they are really far apart and this doesn't get done soon between the 49ers and Nick Bosa?
I wouldn't be worried about it because, even though he doesn't show up, I am sure that the Niners knew this was a possibility, and there have been conversations all along. And the one thing we've seen about the way John Lynch and Parag and those guys handle their business with the Niners is they'll get it done. I wouldn't be worried. Nick Bosa is going to be in great shape. His teammates love him. They understand this, so it will get done. I don't think it'll get acrimonious. The Niners have always found a way for the players they want to keep to get them in. And look, here we go back to the quarterback contract. The fact that you got two guys on rookie contracts, one is seventh rounder, there is some ways to manipulate, the cap to get Nick Bosa taken care of.
No doubt about that, Steve. I know you're a busy man, but I want to get you out of here with this one. The running back spot. It's been a lot made. Josh Jacobs leaving Las Vegas, holding out. Saquon Barkley comes in on a 1-year deal, just $11 million plus incentives. We got a pretty damn good running back here in the Bay Area with Christian McCaffrey, a 3-down back here. I find it appalling that running backs get this label of, yeah, we're not going to pay them. We could go find them a dime a dozen. I disagree with that, man. Home run hitters are hard to find here. Derrick Henry's, the Christian McCaffrey's. What's your take on just the landscape of the running back position here in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks for running backs. If you ever stood on a sideline and watched everything they have to go through, I mean, it's almost as if they should get combat pay. I hate saying that, but they get abused. And it's not just running the ball. It's pass protection. Imagine being a running back and you got to pick up Nick Bosa coming off the edge, or you got to pick up Fred Warner coming in with an 8-yard running start. I mean, that's the abuse they take. So it sucks they don't get it, but at the same time, you're looking from the team perspective, it is a passing league. Look at the players getting paid right now. Tackles, edge rushers, quarterbacks, and corners. People who affect the pass game, those are the guys who are getting paid. It just is what it is. And it's unfortunate. And I know you said that, game breakers and stuff like that are hard to find. The Niners have shown with guys like Elijah Mitchell and Raheem Mostert that if you put guys in the right situation, they're not as hard to find as franchise cornerbacks, edge rushers, and franchise corners. So it's just the unfortunate tipping of the way that the NFL is shaped right now. And it sucks for running backs, but it's still a valued position. It's just the players who play the position aren't valued.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Steve Wyche here on the Morning Rush on 95.7 The Game. We appreciate the time. We're both big fans of your work at the NFL Network. We've been doing it for a long, long time. So have fun down there in Oxnard, California.
Tell the Cowboys we hate them.
Yeah, we still can't stand
Tell
the Cowboys.
them we hate
but
them.
Boy, those expectations down there. Can't stand Jerry Jones, Steve. Can't stand them.
All right, guys. Appreciate you having me.
See you, buddy.
Man. Steve Wyche,
He does a great job.
No, he's one of the good guys in the NFL, man. Does a excellent job covering the league here. NFL Network since 2008.